Okay, so I talk about this often. I've shared this often as well. Bitcoin volatility chart. Okay, now I didn't mention this here in the Discord, but I did in my classroom server. But the zone for BVOL has changed. Previously, it was lower. It was from like 1.4 down to 0.81. Now the zone has increased. What that means, whenever we touch this zone, expect a big move to happen within 48 to 72 hours. Now, we touched the zone there, and yesterday and today we've been pretty volatile, right? Yesterday we went from like what, 58 to 61.5. This morning we came down from 61.5 to 58,500. So volatility is there, and I think it's going to dry out. I don't think we have anything planned for today. Tomorrow we have FOMC minutes, but that doesn't mean anything. It's just minutes from last session. People will freak out and say like, "Oh, we have FOMC." No, nothing's really happening. It's just a recap. Um, I don't know what's happening Thursday, but I don't think we get much volatility. I think it's going to be a dry and choppy month and a half. I think the real fun starts end of September, going into October, November. But I think for the next 10 days, at least the rest of this month and next month, I think I've spoken. September is usually a bearish month for not just crypto but the markets in general. So um, expect some turbulence next month. But let's take a look at Bitcoin. We hit TP1 on my okay, I've been getting a lot of DMs. Let me just go over all the calls that I've made in this server in the past week and a half. So our Bitcoin long, spot long, okay, hit TP 161. TPs have, or profits have been taken. Next TPs are 62.5 and 65.3. So I'm still in the position. For ETH, okay, for ETH, our entry was 25.43. Now, these were starter entries. I still do think that we do get a leg lower. Invalidation would be a flip of 62.5K into support for Bitcoin, and then we target higher. But, I mean, yesterday we went to almost 2,700. Well, this morning. So it was a good 6% move. Now, regarding taking profits, and I made a video like ranting about this over the weekend. Take profits should be whenever you are happy, all right? It doesn't mean we are necessarily going to hit resistance and TP levels. A lot of people are looking at these levels in general. So taking profit should be, if profits are good enough for you, go ahead and trim. The other reason to take profit is if you can't fathom, price going up, right? And you're up like, let's say, 15% or 10% unleveraged, and then you can't fathom round tripping those profits, meaning, the price comes back to your entry. If you can't fathom that, that's when you also take profit. So, I could have taken profit yesterday at 6%. I didn't. It's okay. I'm okay with it. But for a lot of people, 6% is a lot, right? Bitcoin, 7%, almost 8% is a lot for people. Okay, so if that's a lot for you, go ahead and trim, make the trade risk free. If price goes back down below your entry, you can always add those profits that you took. Okay, that's Bitcoin and ETH. Sol, we're basically a little bit under. I think our average was 142-ish. One I'm pissed off about, dog with hat. Okay, we almost hit TP. We were off by a nipple hair. I'm still holding on to this. We have broken structure. This could be another lower high, but on a lower impulse. This was our last lower high. We broke out, so we have a break of structure there. Now this could be another lower high on this impulse. So I want to see how this reacts. I think anything from 145 down to 126 is a buy. Our next buy isn't until 1.256. So I'm still hoping this goes up. In order to do so, Sol needs to go up. Okay. Right now, all the money has moved on chain to the Tron chain right now. That's where all the money's being made. I'll probably cover Tron or TRX as well. The other coin, Link. Okay. Link again, we were up almost 5% from our entry. We got close to our TP1. I'm still in. Now, here is a perfect reason why I do not play breakouts, okay? Because you will see that we have some type of bull flag forming here, and then we had a breakout, right? Those that were playing breakouts will come and be like, oh, this is your TP, right? They'll be like, oh, place your stop loss below support, have some ridiculous stop loss with a very, very short TP, and then they will call that successful. If you are in servers with Jason40X, this is the type of plays that he does, and he's notoriously bad at it, okay? So breakout, retest would have been the play, which we had the breakout, there was the retest, okay? And yes, we opened up there, but this would have been your stop loss, if anything. And this would have been stopped out pretty fast, right? So wait for clear direction. I think we're still going to chop. So this is the range for Link currently. Okay, you have your demand zone, which has been tapped by 50%. So I wouldn't take that. I'd probably go in a little bit lower. But it's holding its ground. We just need Bitcoin to consolidate or slightly go up. ETH needs to take a little bit of charge here, but this is concerning as well. I'll cover that as well. But those are the plays that I'm currently in. And XRP, I'm not even going to cover XRP, okay? I'll come back, in a month and a half, and I mentioned the price will be the same. I thought we were going to have a run yesterday, but shitcoin. Okay? If this hits that 10%, I'm taking profit completely from this coin and then moving on. All right? So let's jump into Bitcoin really quickly. Let's actually start a new chart. All right. So that was the short that I gave. Not valid anymore. TP hit. I still do think that this long is a very good one if we get it. Now, we had a 4-hour order block, and we went straight into it and rejected from it. Okay. We are back within that broadening wedge. I still have this long available, so if we get to 55, 160, I will be DCAing down to, I think it was like 54, like 400-ish, and my stop loss is a hard one. I don't like having soft stop losses unless like it's very, very close to price action, but when it's, at a point of uncertainty, if this is another lower high, then I don't want to have a soft stop loss and then go lower and then we get stopped out. So this is still a valid play for Bitcoin. So 55, 160, DCA down to like 54, 400-ish, and have a hard stop around 53, 526. Hopefully, we can put in a double bottom, right? And I did pull fibs. Actually, I think I pulled it from this low. Okay, so the fibs, at least the DCA, does lie perfectly within the 786 fib. That's where I also, is the DCA around 54, 400-ish. But I have enough confluence for this play. We have the order block. Okay, you could have taken it as such as well. But I'm gonna enter at the support line instead. So if I were to draw this black line out, okay, we have multiple touches, we have flipped it into support, and that is where my entry will be. Okay. So in terms of shorts, I'd be pretty cautious here because if this is our range that we're currently in, okay, actually we have a tighter range. I'm gonna remove this beautiful squiggle. You can call me Da Vinci later. If this is our range, all right, so we have range lows here with a deviation, and this is our range highs. Okay, then technically both sides are weak. Okay, we've had multiple touches of this range here, and we've had multiple touches of the range highs here with this current rejection that we had, this or last night or this morning. So one side's about to give. Okay, now I personally wouldn't long down here again. This is our invalidation zone. So I would have loved to see yesterday. I think I mentioned in our chats. This was the setup that I wanted to see. Okay, now the R&R wasn't great, but I would have loved to see price hold above this resistance line, which we had a breakout, but we never retested the SR to flip the support. But we had a perfect move out. Our boss level is this one here. Okay, if we go back on the daily, and actually I pulled, one sec, okay, here. Nope. So this is our boss level, 61.5, which we rejected from. We need to have a daily close above, reclaim this, and hopefully flip it into support, and then we will target the mid-range, which is around 65K. If we don't do that, then this is just another higher low. Sorry, lower high. Let me show you. This is just another lower high, and then theoretically, we should go back down to make another lower low. All right. Now we have no strength. We have more weakness than strength here. I want to see, honestly, a move down to the weekly demand zone. If we lose this 53 to 50K level, 53 to 50K, we will go back to that 44K. Now, there are a whole bunch of people in this Discord that are memeing on my Twitter saying bro has bids at 40K. Well, learn some TA. Okay, if this demand zone's lost, which we have lost all, or we have grabbed all this liquidity, there is no point that we are going to bounce from on a weekly level besides here. Like there's maybe we bounce from 48 to 46K, right? We have this SR point. Okay, but I would probably look into a deep capitulation wick into this demand zone, which again is not bearish because we are upholding the trend here, right? We can come back down and bounce from the trend line. As long as we don't lose the trend line turn to resistance, this market is poised for higher. So we can come to this and still be macro bullish. It just means your alts are going to die. So, if you want Bitcoin to succeed and bounce from here, you must make a sacrifice, right? But anyways, lower time frame. If you're looking for shorts, I really wouldn't short here. If anything, I would short 64 to 65K levels, and this would be your setup. Actually, let me see this on the daily. So we have a supply zone. Go back here, reject again, make another lower high, and hopefully send this coin into, Hades. All right, so let me go ahead and post this. I'm going to post it on the 12-hour, easier to see. 12-hour order block, supply zone as well. Okay, and then it lines up perfectly with the 786 fib. So I will put that. And the long, which I gave already in my channel, I'll put that as well. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. Okay. I am not a scalper, so I'm not gonna, look for shorts on the 1 hour or 2 hour. You can turn to other scalpers in the server for those. I rather have swing longs. I don't care for 1 to 2% moves. Okay, let's take a look at ETH. Let's go to my favorite exchange of all time, MEXC. What a shit show that was. All right. So here is our range that we've been stuck in on ETH. Okay. Now, possible head and shoulders forming. Okay, here's a left shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the right shoulder. The right shoulder has not formed yet. We need a test of this neckline to confirm that. Okay, now a head and shoulders is not played until the breakdown and retest happens. Then you can short it with a very, very tight stop loss. So I can't give you the stop loss yet. I need to see price action develop. And then the target would be something like that into, actually this is the new order block. Okay, so it would look something like that, and then possibly a long attempt at the order block. Very, very tight stop loss. ETH has been showing a lot of weakness. There has been more like sells, and I think, because of this ETF, I think it just ruined. I think ETFs ruin crypto, and I've been saying this before. This will be the last bull run in terms of growth and volatility. And I don't think it's going to be as strong as the last bull run that we had. I think it's going to be a lot choppier. It's definitely been the hardest one to trade for me personally. But this will be the last bull run. And it doesn't mean like you won't have another, 4 years from now, another period of time where we're going to have growth, but you won't have another period of time where you're going to have growth that's going to be exponentially like this, like coins that do 50x or 100x. You won't have that anymore. All right, so ETH has been very weak, and until I see it above 3k, it's not really interesting for me on a leverage perspective. But I see this making another leg down before it makes new highs. So I want to see it personally, and I've discussed this in my video as well. Okay, but I want to see this level, which is basically 2200 down to 2100, be taken out. Okay, and then we reclaim it and then go higher. Okay, what's going to happen here is you will see people call for a head and shoulders. All right, and this is going to do exactly what Bitcoin did. Okay, this is going to do exactly what Bitcoin did here. What the fuck? All right, left shoulder, head, right, head, and they look pretty similar. And then the right shoulder hasn't formed yet, but notice how the right shoulder is like trending down, making a move up, and then trending down again. Same thing here, right? Trending down, probably make a move up, and then trending down again. Everyone will start to short here, and then ETH will start its probably like its move, like I said, end of October or October through November, December, toward new highs from there. So it's going to be very weak. It's going to piss a lot of people off. But right now, the strength is in Sol and other coins. So, for ETH, I'm honestly not interested in leverage positions until this previous support, now turned SR, is reclaimed, and then we can go higher. Right? That's when I will start leverage positions. But until then, not really interested in this chop. I'll look for lower. Okay. So that's the potential short setup on ETH. That's the long setup on ETH. The other long setup would be on a higher time frame. Who the fuck uses a 3-hour chart? On the other time frame, on a daily time frame, sweep of the lows, reclaim, put in a swing failure pattern, then you will long and have swing positions all the way to all-time highs. Now, if you want to take that on spot, which I definitely will, that's how you're going to play it as well. Okay, but as long as we are in this range, right now, top side is weaker. We've had more touches of this range highs. Okay, longs, you can probably take a long. Stop loss placement's going to be very tough, very, very tight. Because, technically, if you're playing range lows, you're placing your stop loss below some type of support or wick. Well, we don't have really support until down here, but if you're going to play that, your R&R sucks. Okay, so have a very tight stop loss, probably around 24, like 80-ish. Okay, and you're going to target range highs again. Okay, so 3 separate setups here. Confirmation, limit order, and then you can take a limit order with a very tight stop loss here. If you want to short, I always say, play the range until broken, right? So we have a 4-hour order block. Very, very tight stop above the wick. And play that range until broken. However, I think Scient also gave this short that I gave up in my video as well. We have a supply zone, which is also the very, very point that's important to reclaim. I will be shorting basically 28.70-ish to 29.50, and I will have a manual stop loss. If we close back above here, I will close it, but I'm looking for a move into there. Put in another lower high. Okay. Rejection from this trend line, hopefully as well, and then a move lower. Now, whichever one comes first, right? If we get this first, great. I will start to sell and short there as a hedge. If we get there, great. I will start to long there and sell my shorts here as a hedge. Okay. So let me post this ETH chart. 4 separate plays here. Follow Scient on his play. I'll post one when we get closer to it. I've seen so many head and shoulders pattern getting invalidated. It feels like 50-50. That's because people don't know how to play head and shoulders patterns, right? People will come and be like, hey, this is a head and shoulders. I'm going to short over here. My place my stop loss over there, only for it to screw them up, right? A head and shoulders is a meme pattern, okay? A head and shoulders, not an inverse head and shoulders. A head and shoulders is a meme pattern because you need confirmation for this short to play out. If you're blindly shorting here because you see a possible shoulder forming without it actually forming, okay, that's when people see this pattern incorrectly. Plus, you shouldn't just trade patterns by themselves. Patterns should only be used as confluence. People that trade that trade patterns solely by themselves are I wouldn't say incompetent, but they're inconsistent. Okay, there are some incompetent people out there that trade patterns. Again, Jason, but still, like, you need to use them as confluence. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's take a look at Sol. So I am still giga short on Sol. I discussed this. Discussed this in my video that I made. I shorted 160. I was hoping to get bids all the way to 184. Didn't. Got a 15% move down. I trimmed. Now this short here, okay, this was additions to my already short. So I have my average around, hold on, check. I have it up right now. 154.4. Ah, cool. Right there. So I'm riding the short, and I'm looking for sub 100. All right. Everyone knows me, knows that I hate Sol. I hate the community, but I do have bags of them. But I'm looking for sub 100. All right. So hopefully we can get it. That would coincide with Bitcoin going to around like 50, 53K. If Bitcoin goes down, these coins get hit harder. So I will write this short up until we get that. But again, I mean, it's just a range right now that we're in, right? I'm just gonna remove this really quickly. Okay, we're just in a range right now. Okay. So here is our SOL range. Okay, so in a range, you're gonna play it until broken. So this 124, 128 down to 120 region has been holding very strong. You know, that's where you're going to buy spot and add to your positions if you're a spot holder. Now, the leverage position that I gave in my channel, and I'll share here as well, but it was at 134. I don't know what fucking chart I used, but I think it was this order block. I have it here. One sec. All right, yeah. These are the plays. Okay. These are the two plays that I'm taking for SOL. I'm not going to rechart this from scratch, but if we get 134, I will be DCing down to 128, stop loss around 125.5, and then this is the swing. This is a scalp play. This is a swing play. Swing play would be this OB, DC all the way down to the bottom of the OB, and then targeting hopefully, back to 160. So I'll go ahead and share this. Like this chart's like, I mean, like there's no, I know I said volatility is there, but if this is a coin you're going to trade, right, you're basically trading for 1 to 2% gains and then giving it all back up. And by the way, this is your buy zone if we ever get to it. Okay, 100 down to 175. All right. Now let me look at one coin and then I'll take some suggestions. And that is TRX. Okay. Is this the oldest chart? One seven 1.8. All right. So this coin is almost in price discovery. So I would not be shorting this coin. Okay. You saw a lot of coins go into price discovery, but they did. Now this is a very high cap coin. I think it's like number 11 on CoinMarketCap's like list. Okay. I don't know if we get this retest, but if we do, that is where you're going to bid. Okay, here is your OB. And this will continue to run up as long as the TRX chain and these stupid coins are going to do well. Now, if we get that bid, you'll front run the OB, and you're basically targeting much higher from there. Okay, so don't short this coin. It's hard. I mean, it's at resistance currently. Right? We have resistance here. So I wouldn't long this coin either. Any pullbacks on this coin is definitely a buy in my opinion. Now, leverage positions on this coin is very difficult. I haven't actually traded this coin since 2021 because it used to be like XRP. And Justin Sun, the CEO, the founder of TRX, is a lunatic. He will try to get into every niche as possible, right? If somehow we see like the massage envies or whatever company that does massages like do extremely well, he will be like, I'm gonna start my own massage like industry. Okay, and he's been doing this ever since. He will ride everyone just to get his story or his thing out there. The guy is very shady. Apparently, he slept with someone's wife too. But um, whatever he does, it does very well at the beginning. Okay, I think he's like in Huobi as well. He's like an owner of Huobi, which is an exchange. But a pullback to 142, you might want to front run it a little bit, like 144, and have some spot positions because if that chain does well, this coin is going to do extremely or continue to do extremely well. Now, getting pullbacks is difficult, right? Getting pullbacks is very difficult. So you can always ladder your positions in spot, meaning you have a starter position and then you go heavier when it actually reaches your buy zone. That way, if the price goes up, you're not missing something. Okay. And I think this is what the video that I made over the weekend was explaining, that position sizing and trying to time something is two different things. A lot of people want to try to time the bottom. They're like, hey, when are we getting a retrace? Just start positioning yourself. Like if you're trying to get 100 SOL, right? If your goal is to have 100 SOL in your wallet, just start buying 1 or 2 SOL here and there, right? If it goes lower, then you buy more, right? This coin is very volatile, by the way. So, damn, 1 second. That is crazy. Okay. So, buy 1, 2 SOL right now. If price goes down another like, $4, buy 3 or 4 SOL. And don't worry about having a bottom entry. The whole point is to build your bags, right? So if you're missing something, if price goes up, at least you have exposure. And a lot of people unfortunately aren't spot trading. Like all their money is in leverage trading, and they miss the moves, or they're asking, like price goes up, when do I get in? At least with spot, you have exposure to the market when price goes up, right? So as we saw, 1 minute 3% candle. If you get a move back to anywhere around 14 cents, 14.4 cents, that is a buy in my opinion. All right. Those that are doing shitcoin trading on the Tron chain, I'm actually looking to get into it. This is very new. We saw a lot of coins on Sol chain do well. Now I'm not experienced to give calls on those, so I will be following a few people that are hopefully giving calls in here or looking on Twitter, and most of them will rug. So yeah. Okay, suggestions from you guys. Ave was the first one, or Ave, however you want to say that. You are short from 128.4. And you are looking for 115. Okay, well. Makes sense. We have a demand zone here. Your first TP should be this trend line here. Okay, because if we take a look at this on a lower time frame, this can come back down here and bounce. So your first TP would be around like 122. All right, and then once that happens, then you can move your stop loss to break even. And then yes, this is an SR point around 115, and that would be your next. Actually, it's support. We flipped it into support there. It'll be your next TP. Now, if you want a more lower bid for your TP, like before 122, then 119.5. This is a very strong coin. And that's because its BTC pairing is strong, making higher highs and higher lows. Now this is at resistance. It's actually a very crucial resistance. So if we reclaim this, then price will go much higher. But if we reject here, then it's going to be nice for the USDT pairing because it's going to reject much, like twice as harder, right? It's also at a weekly breakout. Oh, this is a very crucial level. If you're shorting this, be careful. Reject here and go down. This will probably go back down to like 110, 112. But if this does well, if this breaks out here and reclaims this level, it's going to be a deviation, and we should target like 160, 170 on this. Yeah, probably those highs there. So be careful on this one. No homo, but you have a great voice. Thank you. Tron was the first crypto I ever heard of. Yep. Alright, what coins am I looking at? One sec. My side chicks are hitting me up. Do not show this to my fiance. Alright, one sec. Popcat, Link, Avax, Sui. Alright. So I think Sui was the first mentioned. I just didn't think he was actually suggesting it. So let's take a look at Sui. I think I covered this last week and I said this looked disgusting. Alright. This is a very important point for Sui to hold. Okay? Because look, resistance, we broke out, flipped it to support basically. Here, let's do that. Okay? Flipped it to support, bounced from support, and then we just turned into resistance. So here is the breakout, fell back under, another attempt at trying to reclaim it. If this happens, then we should go to possibly clear these highs. Granted, Bitcoin doesn't nuke, but let's go to a lower time frame. Okay, let me get this chart really quickly from my classroom for those students that are in here. This is actually a possible bearish Quasimodo pattern. One sec. Where is that pattern? Okay. So higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Here's the neckline. If we get to like 94 and we reject, we put in another lower high, and technically we should go down. So Quasimodo, supply zone, I'd honestly look to short. TP1. Actually, TP1 would be here. TP2. TP3. In terms of longs, risky because this could be another lower. You could have rejected or front ran this area. In terms of longs, probably 80 cents with a very, very tight stop loss. And target those. So here's this. All right. Link. Wait, Ondo was first. So Ondo is struggling and putting in series of, I make this connection every single time and nothing has changed on Ondo, but it just looks like this. Okay, price goes up, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and possibly putting in a falling wedge here. Okay. Now this is a very important level for Ondo. Okay, it needs to hold this. Otherwise, we go back down. And this is where we bounce from. Okay. So in my opinion, this puts in a double bottom here, right, and bounces. I think we have a lower time frame. Yeah, rejected again. So no longs until a breakout and retest of this. It would look something like this. Very, very tight stops. You target basically there. Okay. Technical targets is around here. But we take out the highs. So breakout, retest, you can enter. Otherwise, if this doesn't hold, you are looking at, you can possibly start layering your bids from 58, 5, 52, 44, and 32 cents. That's if the market shits. Okay. I think if we get to here, which is a 4-hour OB, you can take a short. Tight stops. And play back down to range lows. Here is the spot bids, but I also have Ondo bids in my channel that I gave. Link. All the charts look the same right now, but mostly are just having consolidations. So again, this is just a range. Hold on, let me get actual price points. Okay. So here's the low time frame range for Link. I mentioned this before. We haven't had a break, no breakout yet. depending on how you want to draw your trend lines, right? Like you can draw it this way, valid. You can draw it this way, valid. So as long as you have 3 touch the trend line, it's valid. Looks like a possible bull flag. It's showing strength. Is it because ETH is going up? Yeah, ETH is going up. So it's showing strength, but this will continue to do well if ETH does well. If Bitcoin dies, this will die even harder. But if you are looking for longs, I honestly wouldn't long until we have a breakout and retest. But you could play range lows again. It's going to be weak. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. So it's going to be pretty weak. But like I say, play range lows until broken. It's just going to be a very, very risky one. So have a very tight stop loss. And if we get to range highs, okay, this is a short for me too. But I won't even focus on here until we get across this hurdle. So either breakout, retest, right? You long on the retest, stops somewhere here. I can't give that yet. Or you long range lows again, very tight stop loss. Or you short range highs. We're actually at mid range. So very, very crucial level, right? Support, lost it, resistance, deviation, deviation. So very crucial level here to hold. Or like reclaim. Okay. AVAX. So we already rejected from the supply zone. We are back into it. All the liquidity has been grabbed. This does look like it wants to go higher. One sec. Very crucial level, right? Rejection, rejection, broke out, flipped it to support, ran higher. Okay, here's your range currently. Now I wouldn't short here. Only reason is because most liquidity has been grabbed. So everyone that, bought down here, sold here, and everyone that shorted here have probably raised their bids a little bit higher. If you're looking for shorts, I'd short this OB. So something like, okay. You take profits at levels of resistance. So here, probably there, and then down here. Longs probably, if we get it, which I don't think we will. Now these are swing plays that I can give you like multiple plays on different time frames. Okay. Or breakout long, stop somewhere here. One sec, let me go to lower time frames. Let me just post these. Okay. I the reason why I don't like to go low time frames with this coin is because it's pretty illiquid. Like it moves pretty fast, right? We were just seeing it at 22.67. Now it's dropped 10 cents. So this one is a very, very high risk play. Okay. One sec. Play this one. So entry around 21.92-ish. Front run that bid. I wouldn't DCA in this one because your stop loss is pretty tight. So that is going to be your setup. Now it may bounce from 22.09, but we'll see. There's just more confluence here than trying to play that one. If you are planning to take a short here, you have easy invalidation. So stops around 22.95. I'll put that one there too. Popcat. This did well yesterday because Sol was running. I think some people shielded as well. Yeah, see, this is where people get screwed with the head and shoulders, right? Thinking it's going to be head and shoulders and dump. This candle's atrocious, but still in an uptrend. So no reason to short until one breakdown, retest. You have this stop loss very, very tight. I can't give it to you yet, but you get the point, right? That's one play. No longs until coincides here as well, right? Resistance, breakout, retest. Your long would look something like that. But this will only run if Sol does well. Short this OB and resistance zone. Now, because this coin is pretty illiquid and moves pretty fast, your position sizing should be, lower than normal. So, you can have a quick wick up, stops you out, and then finishes back down. So, go in with like half normal position size, but this one's a risky long. But if, price holds, then There's just so many different plays to take, right? One's a confirmation, one's a limit order, this one's a confirmation play, this is a limit order. So there's just many ways to play stuff. So are you expecting a BTC move up to 64K? Not until 62.5K is flipped to support. If that doesn't happen, then no. Zek? I'm honestly looking for a move down first, then higher. One sec. I hate charts like this. We're at a very crucial level. I think a lot of Dino coins are at crucial levels here. That weekly chart looks disgusting. This possibly wants to come back down to like 35-ish. Or sorry, the 3-8 chart. It's got a rounding figure. Rounding figures are only good on, well, one, women. Men, if you have a rounding figure, go to the gym. But also not on charts. So this probably wants to come back down, make another higher low. But unless this level is flipped to support, I wouldn't long here. If anything, and I mean, this coin doesn't really move, like, at all. So, tight stop loss down to here. I'm not shorting this coin, but if I see rounding figures like this, then usually it's just a deviation. Goes back down to SR level. Okay, that's where you're going to long at the SR point. Stops are tough on this one because I hate Dino coins, and these charts and these wicks make it difficult to place stops. But some like that. Or you long if this is flipped to support. Okay. I don't even target 49. One sec, let me get a close-up view. Okay. Moo Moo. Let's take a look at Moo Moo. Wrong coin or wrong chart. Wow, we really freaking sold the top on this one. Jesus Christ. Never fall in love with your bags. This is a perfect example, right? Man, these charts are disgusting. I am going to sneeze in a few seconds, but one sec. This one's tough. So buying down here all the way to 324 makes sense. Right? We have historical, like resistance, right? Resistance. We broke out, flipped to support, ran, came back down here again, ran. So it's a very crucial support that we've been holding. So buying, honestly, a little bit here down to this blue area makes sense. Because we may not get that blue area, or if we do, it might be a wick. So buying now, decent. I just don't know the upside on this because like they're memes, right? But I think it's a low risk play. Invalidation would be closing back under here. Then it's just going to be back to this range. So closing under, I would cut, but buying to this area historically has proven to be profitable. So, enter in small now and then buy more in this blue area. Look for daily closures below here. Because if we get that daily closure below, it's going to be pretty bearish and we fall back into previous range. Moo. Okay. I got 1 or 2 more coins in me, and then I will head out. Such a shit coin, dude. I'm just pissed that we missed this by a little bit. Hopefully we can hit it today. I just don't want that candle to close like that. Yeah, maybe this puts in a 3 drive. Maybe. Right now, meme coins are where the money's at, to be honest. Yes, this will be uploaded. I don't even have homies that, look at XRP. Buying XRP should be like a federal crime. Okay. If no other coins, then that's it. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of alpha. Instead of trading these shit coins for 1 to 2% moves, focus on coins that have volatility and just trade that coin. It could be coins, plural, or that coin alone for a little bit. So for example, although I don't really give leverage trades, I've only been leveraging one coin and one coin only, and that's been Sol. I've taken probably 20 trades on Sol over the past week and a half. I haven't traded anything else on leverage. It's because like it's there. I mean, like look at Sol. All right. Back to support, 6% move up, right? Back to resistance, 6% move down, right? A lot of people are complicating trades and focusing on different coins when coins that have been volatility are staring them in the eyes. This has been the coin to trade if you want to make money, in my opinion, because the volatility is so high on it. Obviously, Bitcoin and ETH as well, but in terms of ROI and actual TA and hype, obviously Sol is the one to go to. But coins like Popcat and Moo or whatever the highest funding rate or negative funding rate is on some of these coins, those are just gambles. But the ones that have fundamentals, Sol, TA, Sol, like it's been proven over the course of what is this? Like Sunday till now, you could have made what, like 15% unleveraged, just off 3 or 4 trades. So this is my alpha. Focus on one coin that has the volatility, pull up the charts, and just focus on trading that one coin and maximizing profits on that. It's going to be 1, less stress, 2, easier because you basically, if you're trading the same coin, you will memorize in your head, you'll go to work, you'll go to the grocery store, and then you'll see like, oh, the price of bread is $1.46. 146 is the resistance on Sol, right? You will just know this by heart because you're just trading the coin over and over again. So that's my recommendation, and my alpha to you is just trade one coin over and over again, and you will see better results than trying to trade 1 to 2% moves on coins that have hype for a day or whatever. Okay. Did you do Aave? Yes, I did. Where will you go on? One sec. Let me stop recording because there's no more questions.